I'm Gary Nickerson,
And I'm Quinn Taggart.
and this is Outside My Window. Well, it's coming up very soon. Ribfest, July 8th to 10th. It's going to take place in Yarmouth at Mariner Centre. And our guest to talk about this delicious event, Yarmouth Rotary Club member Rick Alwright. It is the Yarmouth Rotary Club Ribfest this year, right?
It is, yep. It's Yarmouth Rotary Club's glad to take on this major event for Yarmouth.
So for those who may be listening from away, you don't know what Ribfest is all about. What is it all about?
So we have 5 rib trucks. They're professional ribbers from across the country, and they bring their roots from southern U.S. So there'll be 5 rib trucks here serving up their ribs, their brand of ribs, and then a bunch of other vendors and music and all sorts of entertainment and whatnot going on at the same time. Bouncy castles and stuff for the kids, and lots of drinks.
What a great venue here on the property at Mariner Centre. So can you talk about how the setup's going to take place?
Yep, so we're going to be set up in what would traditionally be where the exhibition sets up their grounds, their midway grounds. So we'll be on that north end of the Mariner Centre. Parking will be in the parking lot of the Mariner Centre, like you would see at exhibition as well. We're partnering with Yarmouth Ground Search and Rescue to manage that piece of it for us. So there'll be a small $2 charge to park, and that's all a donation right to Yarmouth Ground Search and Rescue. But yeah, then everyone's off in that other side. It'll be all fenced in, but it's free to enter. So that's definitely a great time to come down and check that out, and there'll be lots of activity.
Obviously, of an event of this size, it takes some time to organize because you've got to get in touch with the ribbers and work around their schedule as well. So when did that all start? And tell us about that process.
Well, that's been somewhat of a protracted process because of COVID, but we actually really started this whole process in early 2020. The former administrator of this project, Keith Condon, approached the Rotary Club about taking this over. Rotary Clubs host about 50% of Ribfest across the country, so it kind of was a natural fit. Ribfest approached me at that point, or Rotary Club approached me at that point about helping them put this on. So we agreed to do that. So we've been trying to do this for three years now, and we're finally getting our chance to actually put this on. We're very excited, but we've had those conversations going with the rib trucks and all the different vendors for basically 3 years now to really make this happen. So it's going to be it's been a long drawn out process. We're glad it's finally only just around the corner. It's we really, for this year's planning, we really kicked it into high gear about 6 months ago, to get it all going. Once we kind of cleared some COVID hurdles, and we're really confident that we could move forward. So yeah.
For those of us that remember Ribfest from before, are these same guys coming back, or are there different ones?
It's mostly the same guys. I believe there's 2 different trucks. They just kind of swap it out and kind of move about as they please. The competition trucks can kind of decide which ones they're going to. For the most part, I think it's 3 of the same and then 2 new ones from the last edition at least. And then most of the vendors will be more or less the same too.
So it's not just an event, it's an experience, because, you've got things to do for the kids and everything else, so it is a family event for everybody to come out.
Yeah, absolutely. It is definitely family-oriented and built for all ages to come, and it's not just a food event. That is the main component of it, but there's plenty of other stuff. We're going to have some great entertainment as part of that every day. And then there's kids activities to do as well. So, and we're going to have a couple of the vendor booths and whatnot that are very interactive and stuff to do. And being a free event to come to, even if you don't partake in the main focus of it, of the ribs and the food that they're offering, there's still other things to do. So.
And there is a competition component too, right?
Oh yes, yeah, there is a competition component to it. So throughout the weekend, people buying ribs can vote for People's Choice. It'll be one competition, and then we'll have a set of judges that will be judging all 5 ribbers, and they'll be on. I believe it's best ribs, best sauce, and I think there's a best chicken as well. So there's definitely a competition among them to come home with some hardware at the same time.
And these are not lightweight food trucks, right?
No, these guys know what they're doing. They do this across the country. Many of them have more than one rig that they do this with. So they know what they're doing. They have these roots of really good barbecue, and they come from for the most part southern U.S. roots of putting that together. So yeah, it's definitely, if you're coming for barbecue, you're gonna find it.
Event like this, like any of our other events that we see coming on during the summer, it doesn't happen without volunteers.
Absolutely not. It takes a good number of volunteers to make this happen. We're probably looking for between 40 and 100 volunteers, depending on how many shifts an individual wants to work. But yeah, this is a volunteer-driven event. Rotary Club is a volunteer organization, so even from the day one of planning, it's all volunteer-based.
So are there any other community groups that are part of the process?
Yeah, so I had said the Yarmouth Ground Search and Rescue, and then also we will have the Yarmouth Lions Club will be doing 50-50 on the grounds. There's a collection of organizations helping with the green team. So that's basically the team that's managing all the garbage, on all the waste that comes out of this. It's a fairly extensive project for that to take on. We're very happy to have the guy who's taken that on, Kevin Frost. He's done it in the past for Ribfest, and he's graciously taken that on again and is leading that project, and could not be more excited to just pass that piece off to him and let him take care of that, because it is a big task, and we can't thank him enough, and I can't thank all of our volunteers enough for being part of this, and it will be a community-based event that definitely will hopefully be around for a long time to come.
I had an opportunity a few years ago to talk to all the ribbers and participants and the French fry folks and all of that, and they spoke how much they enjoyed coming to Yarmouth. I think it was perhaps the second year. And, how wonderful the community is, how wonderful the people are. And beyond that, there's, obviously a great economic benefit to the community. And also, it's another great event that puts us out there in front of other communities in the province, especially with the cat coming back and all of that. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think it goes to our hosting ability overall as a community that shows that hosting capability and the hospitality that these people get when they come here. There is a great economic impact from it. This is the only event in the western end of the province, basically Halifax West. So people will drive here to come to this event, and they will spend money while they're here. The Rivers spend a ton of money while they're here with accommodations and buying product and everything else that they need to be able to put this on. And it's not just the Ribbers. We're bringing in the vendors that travel with them. Basically, it's a big circuit that they just kind of come along with them. So there's definitely a significant impact that will be driven from this event. And then there's also the charitable component to it as well, that at the end of the day, yes, Rotary Club is going to make some money off this. That's going to go back into the community to help on the various projects that they work on. And one of the focuses for the profits of this event will be food insecurity in the Tri-Counties. So,
one of the things, that I know a lot of the folks that I talk to, when we start chatting a bit about service clubs in the area. You've got the long-standing ones like the Lions Club and Knights of Columbus and the like, but Rotary is just one of those ones where they say, it's a business person's club, and you don't really hear too much about them. But from that, there's a lot of activity that the Rotary Club does that really isn't seen.
Yeah, there's not there are very few components that are really seen. One of the things that Rotary Club has done for a number of years now is Meals on Wheels, and they're not necessarily overtly out there saying that this is what they do, but there's a core group of volunteers there that every day they're helping deal Meals on Wheels. They're doing the deliveries, so that it's been one of the main projects for them for a while now. So, and there's lots of bursaries and whatnot out there. They created Rotary Park in town of Yarmouth, the Rotary Center that they've sponsored the building of. And while it is certainly focused on business owners and professionals, it's there for everyone. Really, they're there for the community, and definitely not without its struggles of membership and keeping people together and driving that through home. But and it hasn't been helped over COVID at all, because a lot of it was all based on that interaction at those meetings and driving that the networking piece as well. So, but yeah, there's a lot of things that Rotary does that just doesn't seem.
Now, you mentioned the beneficiary of the event here with Ribfest is going to be food insecurity. And I mean, certainly it was there before COVID, but COVID has accentuated the need for a lot of folks when it comes to food insecurity.
Yeah, and it's not even just COVID, and we're seeing it even more prevalent just because of the rate of inflation right now. It's only making it even more difficult. So, there's no specific project that is being dedicated towards. We are looking at it being as this is what the money will be directed towards. What exactly the projects are in that will be determined after the fact based on how much money we actually make. Part of it will probably most likely go to Meals on Wheels. We're looking at the food banks. We're looking at school breakfast programs. Like we'll be open to any project that's happening that will have the desired impact. And yeah, so we're just going to wait until after the event to make that happen. But and then it'll come down to Rotary Club executives and the members at large deciding on what projects make the most sense to give the most impact.
Now, Rotary's been in the area for quite some time, and we were just talking recently with Rebecca Rose and getting a bit of understanding about that. But one of the things that kind of struck me about Rotary is the longevity of the organization. Some of the service clubs have come and gone, and although COVID kind of pulled the rug out of a lot of folks regardless, what do you think has given Rotary that longevity?
I think those groups that have the professional organizations attached to it, and the fact that Rotary is such a huge international organization that there's a lot of opportunities outside of the local Rotary Club. We've had, I believe, district governors come from the Yarmouth Club. So, for those who are looking for leadership opportunities and not just to have it on their resume that they're a Rotary Club member, to actually provide some real impact to their to the world at large, there's the opportunities to do that. So I think it is attractive to a lot of people in terms of wanting to be involved. And there's constant turnover of members, but we're seeing newer, younger people join that club, such as myself, and we will drive that organization forward in the future, I'm sure. So it's just an ever evolving situation there. So yeah.
It's a 3-day event, July 8th, 9th, and 10th. Is there a reason for the 3 days? I assume that's, the ribbers have their schedules.
Yeah, that's a pretty typical length for just a non-holiday weekend. Um, the one before us in Halifax, they always do it over the Canada Day weekend. So they're generally 4, sometimes 3, just depends on the weekend. But it's more or less that's the weekend we have, and it fits into their schedule. It's not that we couldn't do a 4-day event. I think part of our thinking around is probably 4-day. You're probably not going to get much business on the Thursday anyway, so let's just keep it to the Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Have you got your requisition in for good weather?
I sure do. I have ordered up 20 to 25 degree weather with sun and maybe a little bit of cloud cover.
Certainly, an event like this depends a lot on the weather. And we've talked in the past on a couple of other events. When you run an indoor event, you want rain because you want to drive people in. Yeah. But on an event like this, you want nice weather to bring people out. But is there a plan B on the entertainment, or is the entertainment under a tent, so that'll happen regardless?
The entertainment itself will be under a tent. The seating, not necessarily, will be under a tent. But and even in situations of rain with Ribfest, it's still open. The ribbers are still cooking. The other vendors are still there to sell. What we've seen happen is people just generally get it to go. And while that's not great for Rotary Club, as we are selling the drinks and beverages and adult beverages, it is still going to happen one way or the other. I think every Ribfest that's happened here has had at least some rain. But definitely it is what it is, and you deal with the punches that are thrown at you at the time. So, yeah.
It's tough. I've been involved with like the air show committee back in the 80s, and it's like, oh my God, please, please, please. All we need is 2 good days of sun and we're fine, right? And with all the investment and volunteer hours and everything that you've put into that point, it's a big sigh of relief.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's I've been involved in a few air events as well, and it's for here it's always the fog.
Sure.
So we've had the problems of just getting the planes in. Never mind actually putting the show on.
That's right. Low ceiling will kill you just as bad. Absolutely.
So yeah, it's just the nature of the event in this case. There are some tented areas, but not very many. We have a VIP area that will have a small tent for covered seating, and then all our service providers and the service areas are under tent too. But general seating, there's no tent, there's no cover. This year, we're trying to keep it somewhat simple for our first year of getting this done. So, hoping for the good weather.
And what are the hours going to be? I mean, we know the dates are, but what about the hours?
So Friday and Saturday, we're opening at 11 and closing at 10 p.m. And then Sunday, we'll open at 11 and close at 7. And be jam-packed the whole time. From everything that we know, it's we'll open those gates at 11 on Friday, and it won't stop. So.
And the schedule of events for the entertainment and the like, is that going to be online on Facebook?
Yeah, it'll be online and on our website, YarmouthRibfest.com, or you can search Yarmouth Rotary Ribfest on Facebook, and there'll be plenty of information there.
I know several people from the province that are actually planning their vacations around this event. People have come before, and they go all 3 days because they want to try everything out.
Yeah, and it's there's definitely those groups of people that want to do that, and they'll be there every day. We'll see them back every single day of the event, and that's great. We're theming the days where there's going to be different things to do every day. It's never going to be the same experience, so that you can always come back and find something new to do. So on Friday, it's going to be East Coast country theme, especially the evening music. Saturday is Acadian Day, so everything, we're going to have an Acadian band and whatnot there. And then Sunday will be country day, so we'll have a country band singing that as well. So something a little different every day, so it's definitely worth checking out If you can come for more than one day, definitely do so, and then you can try more than one set of ribs, or maybe it's not even ribs. From what we know, there's just as many people that come for the chicken that come for the ribs. So there's plenty of different food options.
And I know a lot of people also come for the sauces. Everybody has a favorite sauce. And I was talking to one chap a few years ago, a little bit of a amateur chemist, and I don't know how many bottles of sauce. I said, "You're going to use all those?" He said, "Well, I need enough because I want to try to, replicate them." I said, "Well, good luck." So it's fun on a lot of aspects, isn't it?
Yeah, everyone's got their own little angle to it. So, I do a lot of cooking, a lot of barbecuing myself. So it's always fun to try those different things and talk to the ribbers and how they're just see their setups is quite interesting. So. Yeah, everyone's got their own little reason for coming, but and you'll meet all sorts of different people that, just like that. So,
Food, music, adult beverages has a way of drawing people in.
it sure does, yeah. And during the day, we got the bouncy castles, and it's hard to keep kids away from those.
Before they start handling all the ribs, right?
Yes. Ideally.
Ideally. We know COVID has put the kibosh to a lot of things over the last 3 years, but has it changed your approach to this time around? Like, are there going to be certain protocols in place because of COVID that might not have been there from before? What can people expect?
Probably not too much difference. I'm not 100% sure what all was happening in the past, but we'll definitely make sure that there's hand sanitizer and more wash stations than normal. We actually bought a wash station with 14 sinks on it. Halifax had built that for their Ribfest and offered it to us. So, and we'll have wash stations in other spots as well, just to make sure that people can keep that going. We're not expecting that we'll have any capacity issues. There'll be plenty of room to move about. This is a huge area to be in.
And you're outdoors.
And we're totally outdoors. So, I'm not really expecting too much issues, really. So, definitely if there are concerns of an individual coming, there's probably other ways we can help them out. If you still want to partake in some way, I'm sure we can always arrange a drop off to a trunk.
Sure.
Yeah.
Takeout available.
Yeah, takeout could be possible.
Rick, what can you tell us about the judging? How are they selected, and what's the criteria?
For the judges themselves, or judging overall?
Judging overall.
Judging overall. So there is a set of criteria based on tenderness, the sauce, overall meat textures, that sort of stuff. We give the judges a sheet. They can go through each one. Every judge gets one bone to base that off of. We're not exactly sure when the judging will take place, but it won't be announced. The winners won't be announced until late Sunday. No matter what. We might have a special guest coming to do some judging, so we're just trying to nail down that time. If you look at the timing of that event, you might be able to figure it out who that special guest might be. But
it's not Santa Claus.
It's not Santa Claus.
Not
no,
Santa Claus.
No, sorry, the kids out there. But it won't be Santa Claus. But yeah, it'll be a fun process, and we're hoping that we haven't even nailed down all our judges yet, but it'll be interesting. Yeah, we've had.
But these will be typical standards. Like, I mean, the judging is not willy nilly or whatever.
No,
it is
basically a form that they have to go through. It is a little subjective, and it doesn't necessarily mean that the form is a template or is a guide. It's definitely not hard and fast rules, and I'm sure there'll be some duking it out between the judges to figure out who exactly the winner is.
But that's why there's a People's Choice Award too,
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah, and that's I think always been a very popular prize to get, because you have such a wide variety of people trying ribs. If you can win that, that is a feather in your cap for sure.
I mean, everybody's going to look at barbecue differently, and
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, having watched my fair share of Food Network,
Yeah.
My wife would probably say obsessive, but you know, the criteria are pretty straightforward. But the people's choice is subjective, totally subjective.
Totally subjective. Yeah.
It's what I like,
Yeah.
and what I've enjoyed as I went through, which could be totally different from you.
Yeah, exactly. And it's, you know, our judges are not barbecue judging certified. They're going to be our sponsors. So there's going to be, probably for the most part, so there is going to be a little bit of subjectiveness to it. They're not. It's not. Yeah, they're not certified barbecue judges. So, but there's so many different flavors that can come out of barbecue, and so many different styles of barbecue that, exactly, not one barbecue is going to fit everyone. It's just the way it is.
So we chatted a bit about, of course, the volunteers. You can't do an event without volunteers, and you can't do an event without sponsors. So here's a chance to give a shout out to your sponsors.
Yeah, we've had a lot of support for this event. I can't go through them all because there's just too many. But definitely be sure to check out the Facebook page on the website for the full list. But just to name a few, our day sponsors. So sponsoring Friday night, or Friday during the days, Yarmouth Nissan and Thistle Hyundai. Great support there from them. Saturday, we're being sponsored by Coastal Financial Credit Union, and Sunday is being sponsored by Canadian Tire, Yarmouth, right across the road from where we'll be at. So those are our big sponsors for the days, and then we have some zone sponsors, and then supporters and green team sponsors as well. But be sure to check out the website for that full list. It is very extensive. Our co-chair, Paul Camo, has been hard at work getting all those sponsors in. He's definitely been hitting the streets pretty hard there. So
he plays golf with most of those guys, anyways.
Yeah, I think that's where most of it was done. So, yeah, it's been good. We didn't really expect sponsorship to go as well as it did. Hats off to the business community for stepping up for sure, and really supporting Rotary Club and this event. Really, the level of sponsorship has helped us basically take this event to a level we didn't actually expect to get to in year one. We weren't necessarily expecting to do any significant amount of entertainment because we just weren't sure we're going to have the budget to do it. But with the sponsorship levels and that support, it's just been huge. We couldn't even fathom the numbers we were bringing in. So,
and we certainly encourage people that get out and support the people that sponsor these sorts of events, and tell them, hey, thank you for supporting the Ribfest.
Yeah.
Thank you for supporting my kids' hockey team,
yeah.
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because that's how they know.
Yeah, absolutely.
That people appreciate what they're doing.
Yeah, and they don't necessarily get that recognition as often as they probably should, or people recognizing that as much as they should. So definitely go to the website, check out the full list of sponsors as it's updated. We'll have a sponsorship logo everywhere throughout the site as well. So and many of them will be on site in some way throughout the weekend. So if you see Rick Doucette from Credit Union or Kelly or Darcy, definitely go up to them and say thank you. It's or any of our sponsors. So
remind us again of the dates and the times.
So July 8th to 10th, Friday and Saturday will be from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. and then Sunday 11 to 7 p.m. It's free to enter the Ribfest site. Parking is $2, and that's a donation to Yarmouth Ground Search and Rescue, since they're managing that side. We will definitely be taking donations at the door if you so please, and we're willing to do that. There'll also be 50-50 on site, and yeah, come on down, have a great time. it is a cash-only event. I'll say that too. That's very important to recognize, especially coming out of COVID, where a lot of them were doing credit cards in the past, for the past few years. This is a cash-only event. There will be ATMs on site, though, so if you forget some cash, don't worry about it.
Yarmouth Rotary Club Ribfest taking place July 8th to 10th here at Mariner Center. Rick, thanks so much for coming in. We can't wait to taste some ribs and other goodies. And best of luck. We're all keeping our fingers crossed for the weather.
So am I, and the whole committee.
I'm Gary Nickerson.
And I'm Quinn Taggart.
And this has been Outside My Window.